That's what we saw on Saturday. And just to recap, we had nickel-sized hail downtown Toronto. I am Sonia Sache. Thank you so much for tuning in. I loved all that footage, by the way. So join me on Twitter at Sonia Sache because I want to see more of that. Speaking of the storms, though, we are not out of the woods yet. Coming into Sunday, severe thunderstorms are possible. Winds are all the way up into Toronto. Again, it is that heavy rainfall potential. And again, that hail could be as big as a golf ball size. Also to the north, much of the same thunderstorms. You can see this widespread area. So thunderstorms are possible again in the northern part of Ontario. And again, it's the massive rainfall potential. So let's take a look at the heat and humidity because it is coming back. It is coming back, and with that is the unsettled weather. So Toronto, Montreal, it's going to persist the entire weekend on Sunday. Let's look at the feels like temperature because that's what I kind of go by, definitely. Windsor, it's going to feel like 41. Toronto, it's going to feel like 34. So again, if you like the heat, you're going to love the next little while. Let's check in on Monday. Toronto is going to feel like 38. Barrie, as we go north, it's going to be slightly cooler. It's going to feel like 32 degrees. But again, rainfall is expected. It's going to pass through London going into Sunday morning, and it might hit Toronto, the Toronto area, by Sunday afternoon. If you are making your way down to the CNE, well, your best day would be on Tuesday if you can get out before school goes back. It is going to feel like 31 degrees, and your local weather is right here, so stick around. I wish I was right there. Thank you so much for bringing that in. I am Sonia Sache. Let's connect. I want to see more of that at Sonia Sache on Twitter. But let's get into our top stories. So when we look at the Atlantic, we can actually see that showers are coming in Saturday overnight and also impacting Fredericton by Sunday morning. So yes, heat and humidity, but tomorrow might be our hit and miss in New Brunswick. Don't cancel your plans necessarily, but keep your eye to the sky. So let's take a look at the temperature. They are about 10 to 15 centimeters below the average. So Monday afternoon, Charlottetown is going to be 25, Sydney 23. So again, just below seasonal at this time. But let's check into you in Ontario. Windsor is 22 by tomorrow morning, and then look at the heat and humidity just coming into this entire weekend. It's going to be 30 by Sunday afternoon, and 27 in London Sunday afternoon, and Toronto again 25. So the heat and humidity does build. With that, though, more storms. Much of the same as what we saw today, maybe not as severe, but it will impact us by the afternoon, late evening Sunday. So Windsor, all the way north to Toronto, severe thunderstorms are possible. Let's head over to the west. Look at that. Oh, wow. It's going to be just crashing down, bursting their window open. That was insane. But more of the same. We can actually see here that there are scattered showers to the north. This low is bringing some unsettled weather. However, further south we go, it'll still be dry yet cooler, but the scattered thunderstorms will be more contained into the north. So again, if you're going to be hitting the PNE, don't cancel your plans. So again, this is where the low is kind of dividing the heat and the cold. So the cold is to the north, the heat obviously to the south. So again, temperatures are below seasonal for this time of year. There is, and I'm sorry to say, the S word, snow. Snow is in the forecast. Right around Mucho Lake, there is a snowfall warning. Possibly 30 centimeters potentially could impact this area. So this is the forecast for Sunday, and we have more on your local weather right here, right now. Country, it looked beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Sonia Sache. Let's get right into our top stories. So as you can see here, in British Columbia, the main story is the cold in the north and then the heat in the south. So you are going to be experiencing some snowfall warnings to the north of BC Sunday, and again, the contrast of the heat into, this is northern BC. So you can see that Victoria is going to be 20 degrees, Vancouver partly cloudy on Sunday, and it just really heats up. So again, the contrast from the north where there are snowfall warnings, and then the heat in the southern BC. If you are planning on going to the PNE, do it. It's going to be dry. It's going to be gorgeous. Tuesday is going to feel like 29. Talking about the temperatures, let's take a look at the prairies. So it's going to be quite nice going into the overnight Sunday. So Regina is going to be 21 degrees Sunday evening, and then also going into the morning. Did you know that it is National Honeybee Day? Well, let's check in with Nate for more. Big drops of rain. Hi there, I am Sonia Sache. Thank you so much for tuning in. We want to hear more from you, so go to @SoniaSache, send me some of your photos, etc. But let's take a look over the last little bit. We've had an active couple of hours through Canada. Obviously, heat and humidity is building this weekend across southern Ontario. We will see another round of storms, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's take a look at that heat and humidity as it is building specifically into Toronto, Montreal, and of course the Halifax area. So if you like the heat is on. But with that will bring some potential thunderstorms going into Sunday. So you can see that Windsor, London, you're going to be feeling some of the thunderstorms this weekend. So again, maybe keep your eye to the sky. Also, in terms of the torrential downpour, you might see that as well in the Winnipeg and Dryden area. So again, keep your eye to the sky. Let's take a look at what's happening here in BC. So snow. Did you ever think I'd be mentioning snow this time of year? No. But let's take a look at some other real life drama that happened to a fisherman in Florida. It's awesome. That was absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Amanda, for that story. We want to hear more from you and connect. Obviously, go to @SoniaSache. We want to see some of your videos and photos just like that. So over the last several hours, we have seen a lot of active weather in Canada. You can actually see here all of this active weather around Canada, specifically Ontario. We saw tons and tons of thunderstorms today. But let's get into BC. The heat and humidity in the south, but what is absolutely incredible is the snow hitting the north of BC, impacting Alaska Highway. Up to 30 centimeters potentially could build in this area, and it's still road trip season. But with that, let's go into the south. So obviously heat and humidity building into Ontario, bringing with it some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, and into the evening, we're going to see some more thunderstorm potential. So let's get into, if you have a pet and you are environmentally conscious, this is for you. Well, here is an interesting story for you from Montana. 11,000 birds were killed by vicious hail. And do you want to know how big the hail was? Apple-sized hail. Check that out. It was absolutely insane. And look at the damage that it did to this house. It just pelted the side of this house. If you want more and more stories like this, go to theweathernetwork.com.